What's up, Archons? I'm Flightless Pheasant, and today was the launch of the Keyforge Prophetic Visions Game Found. And along with that, they had an article on the Game Found giving us an update on Fate and Prophecy cards that I definitely think is worth going through. I did go through it on my live stream earlier. That's part of why it took me a little while to get around to this, because I was doing the live stream. But yeah, let's definitely take a moment and we'll go through Fate and Prophecies. Prophetic Visions adds an exciting new gameplay feature to Keyforge, Prophecy cards and Fate effects. Deciphering the details. Every Keyforge Prophetic Visions deck will come with all new Prophecy cards, which let you set up puzzles and surprise traps for your opponent. Let's take a closer look at how this new game mechanic works. So we've seen Expect the Unexpected. This is the cards will tell. Each time your opponent draws a card, place a prophecy counter on this card. If there are 10 or more prophecy counters on the cards will tell, they resolve each fate effect under the cards will tell. So each Prophetic Visions deck will come with 2 double-sided prophecy cards for a total of 4 different prophecy cards per deck. Okay. Prophecy cards are their own card type, are never shuffled into the deck, and they are never in play. They are simply either inactive or active. At the start of the game, you set aside your prophecy cards in an inactive state. During step 3 of your turn, which is when you play, discard, and use cards, you may choose one of your inactive prophecy cards, flip it to the side of your choice, and make it active by moving it near the center of your play area where your opponent can easily read it. At the same time, you must choose one card from your hand and place it face down under the prophecy you just made active. In this way, over the course of 2 or more turns, you can have up to 2 active prophecies at a time, each with exactly one of your face-down cards beneath it. I want some clarification here, because it sounds like I might only be able to put one fate under a prophecy, not multiple fates under a prophecy. So I want a little clarification there. Can I put multiple fates under one prophecy or not? But we'll assume for now that I can't, that it's one fate per prophecy. Each prophecy card describes a specific situation that may or may not happen during your opponent's turn. When the situation or condition described by the prophecy card is met, the prophecy resolves. Some prophecy cards can be avoided by careful gameplay. Others will be inevitable at some future point. But the common feature of all prophecy cards is they will always resolve during your opponent's turn, never your own. What happens when a prophecy resolves? That depends on the face-down card beneath the prophecy. Many Prophetic Vision cards will feature fate effects. When a prophecy resolves, your opponent, who will be the active player at the time, reveals the face-down card beneath the prophecy and must resolve any fate effects on the card. If the card has no fate effect, it is placed in its owner's discard pile. After that, the prophecy card is returned to an inactive state and can be made active again on one of your future turns. After the fate effects are resolved, the card with the fate effect is placed in its owner discard pile unless the fate effect itself placed the card somewhere else. Okay, so it sounds like you're only going to be able to put one fate under each prophecy, and only when you basically foretell the prophecy. And at that point, you have already determined what the prophecy is going to do, and it will stay there until your opponent does the thing that causes it to go off. They always resolve during your opponent's turn and never your own. So, what about the cards will tell, right? Each time your opponent draws a card, place a prophecy counter on this card. If there are 10 or more prophecy counters on the cards will tell, they resolve each fate effect under the cards will tell. Because normally you draw during your turn, sure, but there are ways to draw outside of turn, like Belligerent Guard. What if I play a Belligerent Guard to get that 10th prophecy counter? Does it not go off? Or does it go off and they resolve the fate effect, like the card says? That's interesting. Alright, they give us an example. It is your turn, and you decide to make one of your prophecy cards active. You choose Expect the Unexpected and slide it towards the middle of the play area where your opponent can easily read it. Then you choose a card from your hand, Ensign Clark, and place it face down beneath Expect the Unexpected. Your prophecy card reads, after your opponent reshuffles their discard pile into their deck during their turn, They resolve each fate effect under Expect the Unexpected. Yeah, it says each. Can there be more than one? A few turns later, your opponent is nearing the end of their turn and must draw 3 cards during their draw card step, but they only have 2 cards remaining in their deck, which forces them to reshuffle their discard pile into their deck. This reshuffle causes Expect the Unexpected to trigger, so your opponent reveals the face-down card beneath the prophecy and resolves the fate effect on Ensign Clark, which reads Destroy a Friendly Artifact. Because your opponent is the active player when this effect resolves, they must destroy one of their own artifacts. Afterwards, Ensign Clark is placed in your discard pile, and Expect the Unexpected is returned to you as an inactive prophecy. So you can do prophecies multiple times, and you can have up to 2 of them active at a time. I want a little more clarification on if I can only have 1 fate under a prophecy. I want a little more clarification on that. Note that face-down cards under prophecies are not played, therefore any bonus icons or play effects on them will not resolve. Yeah. Makes sense. Seems good. Prophecy cards and fate effects add exciting moments of uncertainty and tension to your opponent's turns. Will your opponent shift their strategy to avoid a prophecy resolving? That's probably a good thing for you. Or will your opponent charge ahead and let the prophecy happen? That's also probably a good thing for you. Yeah. And they show several different fate effects. Embellish Imp has destroy the most powerful friendly creature. Rage Reset has discard your hand, which is actually really good depending on the timing. Chummy has pay your opponent 2 amber, and Prince Bufo has your opponent gains 4. All pretty solid effects. I'm excited for Fates and Prophecies. I think this is going to be neat. I do hope I can put more than 1 fate under a prophecy, because if I can load up a prophecy and make it really scary... Now, I only want to do 1 per turn. I don't want it to be super fast, but like, if I've got a slow burn prophecy, like Expect the Unexpected, that's not going to go off right away, no matter what, and it's going to take a few turns, then I think I should be able to make that scarier and scarier and scarier the longer it takes for the prophecy to go off. I don't think that's unreasonable. But, I don't know, maybe that just means that a whole bunch of my deck ends up unavailable to me, but in a way that could be good. I could slowly put an entire house underneath a prophecy, and then if the prophecy never goes off, I just trimmed my deck, which is also good. And then if my opponent wants to untrim my deck, they have to let the prophecy go off and take the negative consequences. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential here. I do want a few more details, but they gave us a lot to look at and a lot to think about. And I'm excited, guys. Prophetic Visions looks like a good set, and I am really hype. If you're not hype, why not? Let's talk about it. But that's all I have for you today. So until next time, later, Archons.